Story time. Jake convinced me that I need to go look for myself something nice. So I walked into a Rolex store while we were at the mall. Very big mistake, but we'll get into that. So I walk in there, I'm like, that one is mine. I want that one. I'll take that one. And they were like, okay, are you sure? And I was like, what do you mean am I sure? Of course I'm sure. I want that watch. I found out that the watch is actually $15,000 before tax. So me and Jake both looked at each other, laughed a little bit, set the watch back down, and walked out of the store. And I came back home and bought a Corvette instead. After getting back home, I decided to work with a company that never stops and never settles. So this video is sponsored by Vincero watches. It is absolutely insane because this watch is just as luxurious, feels exactly the same as the one that I looked at in the store that day, and yet is oogles cheaper and is seriously very, very, very nice. Same luxury that I was looking for, all black, you know my taste. There are over 16,000 people that have rated these watches 5 stars. I think my favorite part about this is that you can actually go on their website right now and get a custom engraved watch that says don't lose sight, which by the way, I'll shout you out if you do that. And you know what's even better than that?
Free shipping worldwide.
Go to the link down below, check out Vincero watches, use code is just 6, save 15% off, get free shipping. Seriously, go and check it out. Go right now.
Do it!
I'ma avoid my taxes, then I'ma get arrested. Cause I got depression. I'ma rob my mama and I'ma spend the money on an old Chevy.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to this channel. I'm in a really good mood today because finally we're going to be able to start assembling my 1500 horsepower short block that I've been waiting to put together now for the last, honestly, probably a year. I've had the short block here for a year. For the last 4 weeks, actually, we've been waiting on one very simple part, but we got that in. This thing is hopefully going to be able to come together this video. So basically, earlier today, what we've been working on, Doug has been over here on the stock heads. As you guys know, we talked about it before. We went ahead and pulled these valves out right here already, and then we lapped the valves in there, so they're actually seated very nicely now. And finally, we got our titanium retainers in, as well as our valve springs. So if you look in there, you can see those nice retainers, springs, all that good stuff. Hopefully, we will be able to rev much higher than what we were at before, and we were already at 8,500 RPM. But this setup here, though, is going to be absolutely flawless for doing really high RPM stuff. And also, we needed to do the springs, the retainers, and everything else anyways, because as you guys know, right here in this box we've got our stage 3 comp cams. These are actually custom grind cams from MMR. These are blower cams. They're specifically cut just to perform well with a blower, which obviously this is the VMP Gen 3 blower. I'm not supposed to be probably saying this, but once we get this all back together, we're actually going to be taking that car right there. We're going to be exchanging that blower out for something a little bit beefier and making a good bit more power than what we were before. So after we get the engine back together, obviously you guys know we did get the stage 3 billet transmission back in from the shop. Ben Calamer, huge thanks to him for getting this whole thing assembled for me really quickly. And lastly, after that, we'll be able to assemble the clutch and everything. As you guys know, the Mantic triple disc has been sitting over here ready to go. Crazy to think about, but next week we're gonna be hopefully taking this car after it's running to Florida, going to get a new blower put on it, which I'm excited to show you guys. And then the week after that, we're gonna be gone for, we're going to shoot some music videos for my second channel. We're gonna be in Los Angeles for probably a week. After we do that, we've got a little bit of a surprise. We're gonna be hosting some kind of like a little manual car shootout, stick shift shootout, whatever you wanna call it. Cannot wait to unveil all those details to you guys. But for now, let's jump into getting this engine assembled and have a good time today, because I've been looking forward to this for so long. So first step, we had to grab our ARP head studs here.
That's why you have to put lube on it. Remember what you have to do, Gavin?
Doug, no. From the stock motor that we have, we've already had this same exact stuff in this other engine. That's pretty much the only thing that I attribute the fact that this motor actually stayed together is that we did have the ARP head studs in here for the duration of this engine's life. And I really do think that that helped a lot with keeping the head studs actually, or the heads actually grounded, and never blew a head gasket or anything, even though that we were pushing a ton of boost to the stock head gaskets and all. But anyways, we're putting ARP head studs back into the built block, obviously. Being that this is a brand new block, we don't really have that many problems with threads or anything, but we also do want to always make sure that we use our ARP lube. How much torque are we going to put on these? Do we torque these at all or no?
We don't torque these.
Really?
These do exactly what I just said and they're done.
Okay.
So you run them down, back them off a half a turn, and then tighten it back just to a light hand tight type of thing. If you torque these into it, it's an aluminum block with a steel retainer, and it can push on the aluminum and cause distortion on the engine, causing cracking over time, especially with it already being a sleeve block.
So we're basically bottoming out these head studs and backing them off a half a turn, correct?
And then just run it back.
Run it back a little bit.
Just to the bottom, and then no torque.
Okay, gotcha.
Back it off about half a turn.
Half a turn.
And then go back. Now that you know it's at the bottom, and just set it to the bottom. Don't really torque it.
Okay, and that's it.
Yep, and we do that all
for the
these
rest of the head
times over
studs.
again.
So now we're gonna repeat that exact same process for the rest of these head studs, get them all put down in place. After that, we'll be able to grab our heads over there, slip our head gaskets on, drop the heads on, torque our head bolts, well actually head studs in this case, and we'll be getting ready to get installing on the cams and everything. I actually won these at a stick shift shootout.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We went to North Carolina in that car. I came in second place at the stick shift shootout and won these, so only thing that I've ever won in that car. I've never really competed in that car though. I've only just ran for times, but finally we get to open up these Cometic head gaskets. These things are freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
There you go. These head gaskets are freaking insane. It's 4 layers of steel right here. That is ridiculous. All right, slid onto the dowels. Oh my gosh, dude, what in the hell? What is going on? Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, no way. No way. Oh my gosh, it feels real now. Feels like we're actually doing this. All right, head number 1 is on. Doug's cleaning up the surface of head number 2. This is the last time that we'll see the red cylinders. Hang on, or the red pistons.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, goodbye.
And now it's just stock Coyote, boy. Stock Coyote.
Yeah, it looks like it. Now we're gonna go ahead and get our washers and our head nuts, or the nuts for the heads at least. I feel so bad now because we're never gonna be able to see the pistons again. They're so beautiful. I hate to cover them up. It's like suspension. You can't ever see suspension. All right, there we go. We took off all of the oil off of our head stud washers. That way this pattern portion will be able to seat really good to the head. And then we gotta lube up the threads on the stud, put our nuts down, and then we'll be good to go. Doug's just now cleaned up the surface of all of this. So now we've got all the oil and everything gone. So we can drop these down into place with the pattern portion facing down towards the head, and I just dropped it. All the washers are in on this side. Here's your other 3. Now we can grab our nuts. That only sounds a little bit inappropriate. All right, Doug is lubing up the threads and the washers on the top side. After we get them hand tight, go ahead and start torquing them down and torquing our heads down. We're getting somewhere. All right, guys, you know what comes next. Time to torque everything. Okay, step 1. Tighten 1 through 10 to 35 foot-pounds. 35.
In, out, in to out. If this were an LS, you could just run that bitch on with a 1/2-inch impactor and be good.
So 35, so now we can bump it up to 70 foot-pounds and then retorque them again. After that, believe it or not, these actually require that we go up to 100 foot-pounds is what we end with. So that's pretty crazy, but whatever. Do it by the book. Oh, that thing is tight. Woo. Second round is up. Now we gotta go to our 3rd round, which
100 foot-pounds.
these require 100 foot-pounds. Holy cow. Holy cow, these things are torque weight now.
Man, 3 years ago, would you have thought you'd have been right here doing this right now?
Not at all.
Pretty wild, huh?
Oh.
You know what, though? I
Give me
can't give
some.
you a high five yet because you still got to double check all of them.
Oh, got me. Okay, we torqued them all to 100 foot-pounds. We're gonna go back through now,
Double check
every single one of them, just to make sure that they are all sitting properly at 100 foot-pounds. I can't wait to see how many people are gonna be in here in the comments. 100 foot-pounds? Yes, I know.
Yes, it's an aluminum block. Yes, we know.
Yes, it seems crazy.
But yes.
Yes, ARP recommends it.
And yes, we're going to send 40 pounds of boost through this thing. So yes.
There you go, Doug.
35 starting?
Yep, it's at 35.
You go 7s this year, then I'll sell my bet and buy a Mustang.
Everybody saw it right here. Sean said that he'll sell his Turbo Vet and buy a Mustang. That's crazy.
If you go 7s this year.
Oh, dude, what?
Okay, this
No
ratio.
nitrous involved.
It don't matter. No,
No,
you
No,
you
it really
can't-
doesn't matter. I don't care what you do. You're not going to go 7s.
Oh, okay. You're gonna come back
As
next
a
week.
sti-
Well,
as
you're
a
gonna come back
stick
next
car.
week, and everything's gonna be cut out of that car with a power glide.
As
Oh no, we
a
already
stick
shook
car.
on it. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Everybody heard it here. He's gonna sell his Turbo Vet. He's gonna come to the dark side where it's really fast. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alrighty, guys. There we have it. We've got all of the head studs torqued down to 100 foot-pounds. Look at how gorgeous everything is on this thing, dude. That is honestly remarkable. This is insane. Now that we've got the head studs torqued down and everything, we can go ahead and get started installing our Stage 3 cams, which is gonna be really cool. Obviously, as you guys know, we've got 4 cams. This is a dual overhead cam engine, so we've got 2 exhaust cams, 2 intake cams. And then we're gonna get started opening up all of this stuff that I've got here. I've got a really cool billet timing set that I'm super excited to show you guys, but we'll get into that in a minute. Inside of here, though, I've got all kinds of other billet goodies. all kinds of stuff. So we'll get all this opened up here in just a minute, but let's go ahead and jump into getting these cams put in.
But dog, how do we know which one's didn't take and it off?
I figure we just throw things in there.
Throw them all together. Okay, this is the passenger exhaust rockers.
Yeah.
And we can grab these, drop a little dab of Earl on them.
Also want to do is take a little bit here, dab a little bit on each one of
And
these.
slide our rockers down in place like so. They just sit on here. They don't actually clip onto the valve.
Well, the cam pushes it.
Oh yeah, okay. So we'll just set it there for now.
As long as it's right in that little channel.
All right, drippy droppy in there.
Right now what we're doing is, believe it or not, these, I don't want to call them complete lifters, but
Coyotes actually do have
It's like a hydraulic style lifter.
yeah, it's not your typical lifter like you'd expect on an LS, but mainly being that there's no push rod on the back side of it. It's like a lifter that sits down in a bucket basically. Anyways though, that's what we're putting back in right now. And then once these are in,
Yeah, make sure we're at bottom dead center though, so that we don't have any interference when we drop the cams in.
this is the highest horsepower motor you've ever put together?
Per liter or in general?
In general.
In general, yes, per liter. It's pretty on par with, believe it or not, the Scion.
What liter motor is that?
2.4 4-cylinder.
Oh yeah, okay, so yeah,
Probably
there's some
close to 700-ish, so it's right around the
right
same
there.
power per liter.
little baby lifters. They're cute, huh? Look at them.
Real though.
Tiny.
Is that like a spherical joint?
It's just
Damn.
so that way. This sits in a bucket. This is actually what pushes the valve, and the cam rocks on the rocker right here. And these got little rollers on them. Coyote technology, baby. Looks like you need
baby lifters.
Looks like you need to get you one. Looks like you're going to after I go sevens in a Coyote swap Fox body with a turbo and power glide.
I go sevens with a power glide. I go sevens with a stick.
Okay. There's only been 2 cars in the sevens. The Corvette with stick.
3.
3?
All 3 of them.
And you gonna be number 4?
Turn the car up, yeah.
All right.
The cars that are in the sevens.
Well, you let me know whenever you're making that 7-second pass, and I'll be out there.
I wish I could tell you.
We'll get video coverage over it for the channel. All of our roller rockers are back down in place. Head studs torqued down. Everything is looking good so far. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to get all the pistons down. That way whenever we put the cams in, we aren't messing or having any interference and smacking the valve down on the piston. We don't know where it's at right now, but we can look down in each of the spark plug holes, put the cams down in place, spin them around, get all the timing set put on, and we will pretty much be done after that. That one's going up. Down, down, down. All right, hang on. This one's almost at the top again. Is there going to be a way to get them all down?
Not down, but we can get them not at the top.
Okay. So basically what we're doing is we're sticking extensions through the spark plug holes right there, and we're getting to see where the top of the piston is at. And as you see, whenever we turn the engine, the is coming in and out with the piston motion.
So that's the top right here. Let's use this as reference because that means that we know where it's going to be. This is the top of the stroke, if that's showing out. So we can now take this one down. Let's run it across here. That one's not at the top. That one's near the top. We could probably go back a little bit. Check it. That's not at the top either.
Definitely not at the top. Definitely not at the top. Definitely not at the top. These are going to be a little bit higher.
Close, but not at the top.
These two are about even. Yeah, I think that's as close as we're going to get.
This one, and then this one, and this one.
Try this one.
Down.
So that should work, right?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
It's going to be close, but
So make sure
should work.
whenever we're doing the timing sequence, why don't we just go ahead and start the timing sequence here?
I guess we're going to jump into the timing set. I was really hoping to put that off a little bit longer for some reason, but let me open up everything. Right here and right here, we've got what consists of a, literally, I'm not even exaggerating, a $3,500 timing set. Does not look like it, but it is. In this bag right here, these are billet timing chains. Right here, we've got our Gen X timing set from MMR. All of this is billet. It's literally the top of the line stuff on the market. Look at how beautiful, dude. This is probably more expensive than most rappers' chains that they wear. And it's going inside of the motor.
Dual roller.
Holy cow. Look at that there, dude. That is one beefy chain.
And
Soak them in oil.
yep.
You want to put them back in the bags? Or we can put them in like little baggies like this and just soak them in oil? Oh god, there's holes in it.
Oh, yep, that's what I was afraid of.
I'm sorry, Doug, I'm a failure.
Pour it back in. Out of the top, preferably, so it pours evenly. Of course, you bring it in the direct spot of the fan.
I'm sorry, Doug. I'm a
This is
failure.
why-
What did I
this is
tell
why
you?
I said to put it in the cup.
Okay, you're right. You're right. We should have put it in a cup.
Right here.
I'm just gonna set this right here and not touch anything else because I suck.
We made a mess.
Now that we're getting prepared to start working on the timing set, obviously we're going to have to work on all the front of the engine. So we need to go ahead and get everything that's going to be behind the timing set put in place, which includes our oil pump. So I've got a Ford Performance high flow oil pump here, which is going to be great for what we're going to be doing. The only issue with this oil pump is that the stock gears inside of here are pretty weak. As soon as anybody gets a Coyote engine, the oil pump gears are the first thing that they generally replace if they're going for a high horsepower application, which in this case obviously we are. So I've got some MMR billet oil pump gears here instead of these powdered steel that come in here. We're gonna go ahead and pop this oil pump open, get the new gears put in. I've also got a billet crank sprocket here from MMR that we're going to be using on this, and after we get the oil pump on and all that good stuff, we'll then be able to get started assembling our timing set in front of that, which is going to be pretty exciting. So we'll go ahead and get this thing cracked open using our SK Tools Torx bit. We've got to pop all these bolts out of the back of the oil pump, and once we can split the housing apart, we'll then have access to the gears that are inside of there. Now that all the bolts are out of the way, we can split this thing open, and you'll notice inside of there we've got the housing, and in here we've got our oil pump gears. And there we go. Yep, see, powdered steel. You want to do the drop test on?
I mean,
You can drop those and no crack.
yeah, but they're a backup set. It's brand new.
Backup set? Powdered steel is not a backup set. Powdered steel is a throw it in the trash set.
I don't want to break them.
Well, what do you want to do with them? I have another set of them sitting up there. Now we're going to replace our powdered steel crappy ones that break over probably 7,500 RPM generally. And we're going to replace it with our billet steel ones here, which are freaking gorgeous. All right, slide these down here in place. There we go. And then you can get a general idea of how these work. If I spin it right here, there you go. You can kind of see how it works, but
You ready?
I don't know, it makes me nervous. All right, we're gonna do the drop test. These powdered steel ones are so weak that people have claimed that they've literally dropped them and they've broken. Go for it. Plot twist, these are actually forged. I'm gonna go ahead and put our housing back on, and we're gonna blue Loctite these bolts and tighten them back down. All right, before we put these on, I'm gonna go ahead and do like a little test fit real quick just to see how everything is supposed to be fitting. Make sure that we got everything right, because I'd hate to have anything go wrong here. So just want to test fit it just to see. Okay, so far so good. This is actually a high flow oil pickup tube, so we've got a big opening here. Oh, this is exciting. So anyways, Doug's taking out the old bolts out of the stock block for the oil pump. And we're gonna put the bolts in here, get the oil pump bolted down. Then we're gonna go ahead and install our pickup tube under here. It's gonna be kind of hard to see, but you can see that there's an oil pickup tube spacer that I installed. I'm actually running a 10-quart oil pan now, so basically what that means is that I've got a lot more capacity and it's a lot lower down. So we're gonna run this spacer here, and that basically pushes the pickup tube down further, so it has a better place to pick up the oil from. We've got our billet crank sprocket here, and we can slide that down in place as well. And I can snug up the bolts that go right here on the pickup tube. After that, we're good. Now we just need to tighten up these 4 bolts, and our oil pump will be installed with the pickup tube and everything. We'll be ready for the oil pan to basically just slide on underneath that.
All right, guys, on that note, that is going to be all for part 1 of assembling this 1,500 horsepower short block from MMR. Unfortunately, like I said, we do have quite a bit of interesting stuff to do here. This timing set is very, very intricate. We're already really tired and exhausted. It's been a really long day today, so probably going to take some time today. We don't even have the printout of the timing procedure for this. What I don't want to happen is for us to accidentally bend a valve and us have to take apart everything that we're already doing. So we're going to go ahead and take the time tonight to go and do some research on timing these cars. I have not, and neither has Doug, done a Coyote timing set yet. They're not completely too ridiculous, but it's interesting having 4 total timing chains. And plus, we'll be able to split it up into 2 videos, so that way you guys can see the different process and the steps that it takes to get there. So that is probably going to be a wrap for today's video, but check out what we have done today. So today we've pretty much completely finished an entire Coyote long block here. It looks fantastic. We've got the windage tray in, we've got our oil pump gears, the billet gears from MMR, we've got our billet crank sprocket, the pickup tubes in place, our high flow pickup tube. Earlier today, Doug went ahead, got these valve springs put in with the titanium retainers. That all looks really good in there. We got our roller rockers put back in place. We also went ahead and got the ARP head studs put in, got the heads put on. Everything is torqued and ready to go. So pretty much in the next video, we're going to be assembling our entire timing set. Then the next video after that, hopefully, we'll be finishing the assembly of the engine and putting it into the car. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. We're going to go home, do some research about what we're going to do, and tomorrow's video, you guys will see us being being able to do assemble, fully time, and put the cams in on this new Coyote block. So it's going to be interesting. Turn notifications on, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified of our future videos and everything. Holy crap, I'm so tired. I'm not good at doing outros and I'm tired, but drop a like on this video and I will see you guys next time.
I'm the motherfucking greatest. Yeah, I'm the greatest. See my competition, they just don't fit that niche. You can try to take a shot at me, I will not flinch. I try